Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the San Antonio Football Network, the Caballeros Conexion edition. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. In this video, I have a very special guest, Offensive Lineman Dante Eldridge. Good evening, Dante. Thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's get started. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like where you from? What school you went to? Are you married? Do you have any children? Things like that.
First off, my name is Dante Eldridge. I'm from East Texas. I'm from a little small town called Cold Spring. I went to high school at Cold Spring High School, and then I went to college at Fringe University. Started my freshman year as a tight end, and then they fired the whole coaching staff going into spring football. So I left, went back to community college in the Woodlands at Lone Star College. I done jiu-jitsu for about a year and a half at Gracie Homaita in Willis, Texas. Was competing here and there. Then I found out about, the IFL, the Gunslingers tryout, went to that in San Antonio. Me and two other guys made it out about 40, 35 people, 35 to 40 people.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, I do say that you were, as you see here on the screen, that you were invited to the San Antonio Gunslingers as an offensive lineman.
Yes,
do
sir.
Like a little passy in the picture.
Yeah, that was.
What's the story behind that? I'm very interested.
Is actually my dad. He came across this video where there was a guy my age in high school. They called him Big Baby for some reason. I guess because he was big and dominant. And so I was like, you know what, Dad? What if I get a binky, a battle binky mouth guard? He was like, go ahead, son, get it. I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up getting it for me. So I was rocking with that my whole senior year of high school. And that picture exactly was from an all-star game I got invited to. I ended up with 2 touchdowns and ended up getting the offensive MVP for the West. And it came with a $500 scholarship that I did not know about. So wow. I won the trophy, and the head of the whole game, he gave me a check. I gave it straight to my mom. I was like, "Here, Mom, we got money for college. We got some more money for college." And so that whole situation, it was a good experience. I had a lot of fun playing with the guys I played with, and just that whole day, that whole game was just one of the highlights of my life of playing football. It was real wholesome to get that big trophy. I still got it, actually.
Nice. All right, so Dante, how did you first get into football, and what made you choose the offensive line eventually?
I never really played offensive line in my whole life until I went to the Gunslingers. I've always played. I started out as a quarterback and running back. And then as I got older and got more taller and more bigger, I had to give up playing quarterback and had to give up playing running back. So I was like, I already knew me as a player, I could catch the ball. And so my dad kind of helped me transition into being a tight end. And so I've been playing tight end since junior year of high school all the way up until college. Now that I've got some experience of playing O-line with the Gunslingers, it's out of my forte, but at the same time, I'll do anything to protect my quarterback. So I mean, playing guard or tackle, I even played center, which is funny because my mom, she was like, Dante, she was like, son, what if a high caliber team was like, Dante, we'll sign you $100 million or 50 something $1,000 for you to play center. And sure enough, when I went to the Gunslingers, they had me practicing center.
Nice.
So I had to, I called my mom and told her that was really funny. But my dad he's really the reason why I picked up a football. I don't know what it was. My love for sports is either basketball and football.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always be a hooper inside, but now that I've hit the ground running with my career in football, I love it even more. I love waking up in the morning. I love training. I can't eat, sleep, or breathe without football. It's just, what I'm about. I love it. If you don't love the game, then, what you in it for,
That's right. That's right. Probably one reason why Coach Minaz got you on the team, because anybody who watches the Gunslingers coaches show, he's always preaching about if you don't love the game, then he don't want you. So the fact
Yeah,
that he signed you on has got to say that that's a testament that you are one of those that's obsessed
yeah,
with football.
yeah.
All right. So, what has been the biggest challenge that you've overcome in your football career so far?
I'd say the biggest challenge is being overlooked. Um, Playing with my experience with the Gunslingers, I was overlooked as a player. I mean, I was a rookie, and I was brand new, fresh for arena football. Didn't know the rules, didn't know the
Hmm.
game. But as I went on during my career and practice, I caught on real quick. One thing about me, once I see it, I'll catch on real quick and get in the hang and get in the groove of things. Um, you know, Playing for Minaj was really an experience. He didn't really believe in playing rookies. So
Hmm.
I was really just, practicing every day, waking up early in the morning, practicing every day, just getting all my reps as much as I can, just trying to get on the field. But I'd say the biggest thing I had to overcome was being overlooked. Um, there's a lot of people that I know, like from, my hometown, they've overlooked me, but I always manage to stand out no matter what, even if it's on the field or off the field. My character is what really, puts me in the spotlight. My character and my personality.
Yes, sir. All right. So, who has been the most influential coach or mentor in your development as a player?
Other than my dad, I would have to say um, Michael Bishop,
Okay.
a K-State legend, quarterback who was a runner-up for Heisman. Um, yeah, other than my dad, I would say Michael Bishop. I've trained with him. I've coached under him for about 3 years. Um, but yeah, other than my father, I would have to say Michael Bishop.
Excellent. So, what do you enjoy the most about playing on the offensive line?
The most thing I enjoy is setting a new line of scrimmage. I want to move the ball just as much the coach wants to move the ball. I want to move the ball. You know,
Yes, sir.
more yards the better. More yards the better. And more closer we get to score a touchdown, and then do it all over again. Once the defense take care of business.
Yes, sir. So, as a outsider looking in, I've heard from talking heads and commenters watching the NFL and stuff over the years. They've said that pass blocking is more difficult than run blocking. Is that true in your experience?
In my experience, yes, because one false step can get you screwed, or get the quarterback hurt. Just one false step, one false movement
Yes.
could make a big disaster. So so yeah, I would say because run blocking, you have one forward motion, you're going straight.
Hmm.
Depending on like if the guard has to take your man and then you scrape up to the top and get the linebacker. So yeah, I would say it's a difference. It's a big difference.
Okay. Well, I think you must have done an outstanding job last year because your quarterback Sam Castronova had a monster year last year,
Yeah,
and he can't put up those type of numbers without an offensive line giving him
yeah,
time to make his progressions and throws. So that is a big testament to the offensive line, which
yeah,
unfortunately for you guys don't get a whole lot of attention and the love that I think you
yeah.
most
One one thing
deserve.
about Sam, shout out to Sam Casanova,
Hmm.
my dog. One thing about Sam, he would always, after a big play, he would always show the O line love, because the front line that the Gunslingers had at that time, they were pretty deep, they were pretty good O line. They were
Hmm.
pretty decent. Like we were, I if I'm not mistaken, we were the number one offense in the IFL.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so like you got guys like Markel Harvey,
Hmm.
Isaiah, and then you had Lacoby Tucker, but also Cornelius Lewis, who I
Hmm.
admire very well. But yeah, that whole group right there, it was really a very wholesome group. They took me under their wing, but guys like that, Sam showed much love to those guys. Much
Yes,
love to those
sir.
guys.
Excellent. So, what are some of the key things that you have learned about teamwork and leadership throughout your football career?
Dante Eldridge. My fiance lives upstairs, third floor, Kiana Lane Tower. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem. So yeah,
I get
I had asked what are some of the key things that you have learned about teamwork and leadership throughout your football career?
one thing I've learned is know your role, know what you're supposed to do your job, do it 100%. You know, because if you can't do that, there's no teamwork because one person can screw it all up for the rest of the team. Just knowing your role and knowing your job and doing it 100% plays a big difference and plays a big role.
Yes, sir. All right, so we'll go back into your time with the San Antonio Gunslingers. So, what made you decide to join the San Antonio Gunslingers? I think you touched on it a little bit, but I could get a little bit more in depth on that.
I joined because there was while I was doing jujitsu, I questioned. I questioned heavily on myself. Like, man, like, is football over for me? Like, is it done? Am I just gonna be, a jujitsu fighter for the rest of my life? Um, and then one day I just, I started praying. I was like, you know what, God, like, point me into the right direction. And of course, a couple days later, my dad he texted me the whole tryout information. And I was like,
Mhm.
I asked him, I was like, man, is this real? Like, am I really getting another shot at football? Like, and I get paid too. I'm like, I told my dad like, why not? Let's go. So we booked a hotel. I got some new cleats because I had to get some. I had to get some shoes. And then I went up there, before I stepped on the field to try out, my dad was like, it's your time, son. You got to do everything you've trained for, you worked for, you prayed for it. Like you prayed for this. Now the moment's here. Now what you gonna do with it? So I gave my little father son dap up. I was like, I got you. I was like, let's go do it. And I showed out. Like once you put me on the stage, Mr. RJ, like once I'm on the stage, I'm not gonna want to get off. I'm gonna like somebody else is gonna have to put me off. And that's the same with a job, like with football. You're gonna have to take me out. Like you're gonna have to
Mhm.
physically take me out for me to stop playing or stop showing out. Because like everybody, everybody deserves the glory. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like, what are you gonna do with it when the light is on you? You know, and that's how I
Yeah,
look at that whole thing.
right. So, how was your experience playing in the indoor football league with the Gunslingers? It must have been a transition going from your traditional outdoor 100-yard field to an indoor 50-foot field. What was that transition like for you?
That transition was real different. Like I said before, the rules were different. I didn't know you can get a lot of points just off kicking the ball into the field goal
Yes.
off real. Uh, 8-on-8, it was kind of different. I mean, it was like how you have 7-on-7, football,
Mhm.
like, but it was 8-on-8, full speed, in an arena, people could go over the wall. Like it was nuts. Like just
Yes.
attending, like just being at all the home games on the sideline, like and just watching the game. Like it was nuts. Like it was exhilarating. Like I was like, dang, I want to get out there. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. So, what was it like playing in front of the San Antonio fans at the Freeman Coliseum?
Sadly, I never got to play.
Oh,
I was only practicing with the team. Like I
wow.
said, Minaj, he didn't. believe in playing in rookies. So I had to take that pill and I had to swallow it.
Mhm.
Like when it comes to my ego and pride, I'll swallow it. Because at the end of the day, I gotta do what I gotta do to get on the field and play. You
Mhm.
know, but just practicing with those guys and practicing on an IFL, at an IFL facility and just on the field itself is very different. It's not like regular turf. It's nothing like grass.
Mhm.
Very, very different for the footing. You know.
Yes. All right. So now we are going to transition into your next chapter in your life, and that is, as we can see here, that you were recently, I guess back in August, it looks like, you
Yes, sir.
were invited to camp for the San Antonio Caballeros, which is
Okay.
a team in the International Football Alliance, which is a brand new league that's going to be starting in June. And you were given that camp invite. So now you're going to be transitioning back from outdoor to indoor and now back to outdoor football.
Yes, yes,
So,
sir.
so yeah, tell me what are your expectations for yourself when it comes to joining this new team in a new league?
My expectations for me um, definitely got to be in the best shape of my life. I got to be mentally there. Um, I just want everybody to be on the same page when we all meet up in May. I want everybody just be on the same page. Like, let's win a championship. Let's bring a championship home to San Antonio. I know the Brahmas, they almost did it against Birmingham, and I love
Right.
that game.
Boy,
I
that's
love
still
watching that
sweet.
game. I know. I was watching that game. I was like, oh my gosh, man. Oh my
Uh,
gosh. But let's I just want everybody to be on the same page. I want everybody to just know their role, just do everything 100% of the time, like 100% full speed, no questions asked. Like, I want to know, like, I want everybody to have that heart, and I know everybody does because us as a team, we've been communicating a lot lately in the group chat. It's awesome, getting to know these guys, text these guys, just talking to them. Just we can already tell we're gonna mesh real well once we meet everybody in May. So it's gonna be exciting for this season. It's gonna be very exciting.
so do you have a date in May that y'all are getting together?
I think if I'm not mistaken, May 15th is when camp starts.
Okay.
So three you can blink three times, it'll be May.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I know that the Cavaliers do have a another open tryout here, and I think
yeah,
in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Are you be since you already got the invite? Are you going to this, or are you able to skip out on this?
I will be there.
Okay.
Already let some of the coaches know that I'm gonna be there. I wanna be part of the trial. I want to get some work in. I want to see where I'm at. Like just maybe get a few pointers on what I need to work on before I fully get there in May.
Hmm.
But I'm just going there to just put put my name back on the stage or just show out. That's why I'm really just going up there. I want to go up there and show those coaches because I know the previous trial that they had recently last year, none of the coaches were able to come because of some,
Right.
flight delays or whatever or whatnot. So
Yes.
I'm just like, now I'm just going there to just, get a workout in and just show the coaches like, hey, like this is what you're getting. But at the same time, let me know what I need to work on, so I'll work on that. And that way, once we get to May, there's no discussions about it.
Hmm. All right. So, are you excited to be playing for Coach Mummy, who is for us old school football fans? I mean, he is like a living legend and the grandfather of the air raid offense, and
Yeah.
he's been around a while. So, what's that going to be like playing for such a revered and legendary coach?
It's gonna be, I would say, really life changing. I've never really played for a coach like Hal Mummy. And shout out to Coach Hal Mummy. Um, Great man. He's a great coach. I've done research on him, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking
Mhm.
about. So just, I guess, playing for him is just going to be so wholesome. And, there's probably going to be a lot of learning curves, and I'm with it. I'm with taking a whole bunch of learning curves and learning what he has to teach to all of us on this team.
Yes, sir. So this must be pretty exciting to be able to play an NFL style of
Yeah,
football outdoors. Unfortunately, it is outdoors in South Texas in the summertime. So that's going
yeah,
to be absolutely brutal.
yeah. Nothing
Yeah.
more than the Texas summer heat, with no shade.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That should definitely. They talk about forged by fire. You guys actually will be forged by almost literal fire out there in that
Yeah,
heat.
yes,
Supposed to
sir.
be all outdoor. Supposed to be all night games, but still, even 6 o'clock at night here in San Antonio
Still
is
hot.
still brutal.
Still hot.
But I guess the good thing about this is that you're able to, like I said, play an NFL style football, and you're able to get a lot of your playing on tape that
Hmm.
possibly other scouts from whether it be the UFL or the CFL or even the NFL can look at and give you a chance to elevate your game and maybe take that next step.
Yes, sir.
Great. So we'll talk a little bit about life outside of football, beyond football. So what are some of your interests or hobbies outside of football? I know you talked
My
about jujitsu.
Yeah, my interests and hobbies. You know, I'm a family man. One, I care about my family and I care about my friends. Shout out to my homeboys. Um, but I recently started to get more into my music. I started becoming an artist way back then. When I was in high school, I took a pause on it because I didn't know how to say my words correctly, say it on beat, say it on time.
Hmm.
Um, but that's probably one of my favorite hobbies and interests is making music. Because nobody knows, but I can sing. I ain't gonna do it on here though. but but I can sing, and I can thank my grandmother for that, and my uncle especially, because he plays piano all around, like at every church that invites him to play for him. He used to be a big time singer back in the day, and he just he showed me the ropes on how to use my voice correctly, what pitch to use, what pitch not to use on certain types of melodies and beats. I like to draw. I like to draw. It lets me let me just put my imagination on paper. Same with music.
Nice.
And one of my other interests and hobbies is training. I love training. Nothing beats waking up and training on something you love doing as a profession, and I love doing that.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. So, with all that you have going on in your life, how do you balance the demands of being a professional football player with your personal life? Because with being a football player, it's a lot of training, early
Yeah.
mornings, long workouts. So, how do you balance uh, the two?
Um, I have to force myself to balance it,
Hmm.
because if I don't force myself to balance it, it'll be unbalanced. And just knowing me as a person, if I have to force myself to make everything fit and make everything balance. That way, when the time comes, I'll be like, hey, I got time. I can do it. If I did this, then I can do this. So I have to force myself to balance that. I've been doing pretty well at doing that, and that's why I've been having a lot of free time with my life. Just making sure I got everything placed in the right spot, right, time slot, right time window. Just like for this interview, like I'm off of my part-time job, and I was like, you know what, let's do this interview, let's do it, So, and come to training, I work late nights,
Mm.
so all my training and whatever I got to get done, it'll always be early in the morning up until I got to leave to go to work. So it's kind of new for me. I'm starting to look at my calendar more often. I got to put stuff in my calendar more often. So I'm just like, you know what? It's not a bad thing. I'm just being more organized with my life and just making sure everything flows correctly how I want it, you know?
Yes, sir. Doing all more of that adulting thing as we get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
getting
yeah,
older.
yeah. My mom says, welcome being an adult, son.
Right. It's amazing how quickly your day fills up with whatever, just normal everyday life. Your
Yeah,
day gets full pretty quickly.
yeah. And, and your day's already started off good if you make your bed.
Yes. Yes.
Once you make the bed, your day, like you feel good about the day.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So, what are your plans after football? Because unfortunately, your football career is not going to last forever. So,
Yeah.
what do you have any goals or plans that you have post football?
My goals, um, my goals after football, is to make sure I'm financially stable to do the things I want to do. I want to open up a gym somewhere for
All right.
basketball. I want to open up a basketball court with mixed in with a football indoor turf field, and just have a facility for the kids. That has that live in rough backgrounds and they have nothing and there's nothing else to do. Like, man, I want those type of kids to come to my gym and be like, hey, if you want to get to your dreams, you want to succeed in your goals, come to my gym. If you're a hooper, I got basketball courts. If you want to play soccer or you want to play football, you want to fulfill those dreams, I got an indoor turf field. I want to give back to the kids. I want to give back to the community. I want to be a trainer and I just want to run up my own gym, you know,
That's awesome.
because where I live, we don't have a gym. Where I'm from, we don't have a gym. We don't have a court. We have to drive a certain amount of ways to get to a park and play, or drive to an inner city and pay a little fee to even just a hoop. Like I want to put something like that in places where I'm from. Because I think me as a person growing up in that type of environment, I think it would do some good. Make everything life changing. That's one thing about me. I want to make everything life changing. I'm not Superman, like people can't be Superman, but I'll make sure to do what I got to do, and and give that back to y'all or give that back to the people.
Yeah. I mean, you can be Superman in your own way by doing something
Yeah,
like that's amazing. That sounds really awesome. I wish you the very best of luck in that endeavor. I really hope it
yeah.
works out for you.
Thank you.
Sounds awesome. So, what advice would you give to young athletes who are aspiring to play professional football?
One piece of advice. Hmm, man. I would have to say if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
There you go.
If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Because at the end of the day, not only are you dreaming to achieve it, you gotta have this. You gotta have that heart. If you got
Hmm.
this and you got this, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. And I thank God for having both. First I want to give all the glory to God, and I thank God for blessing me with two parents in the household that want me to fulfill my dreams and want me to fulfill my goals because they are the two people that instilled us as their kids, their sons, me and my little brother Kobe, that you can achieve anything you put your mind to, as long as you got the heart and your mindset is there. Because if both of those are there, sky's the limit. And I thank God for my parents, instilling that into me and my little brother.
That's awesome. That is awesome, Dante. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you tonight.
Yes, sir.
I know you got a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to disturb your work-life balance there.
Oh
But I do
no, I'm
appreciate
like
you.
I said, it's I got an anniversary. It's my anniversary with with my girl. So I'm
Oh, well, happy anniversary.
probably just gonna chill.
Okay.
Um, But yeah, you mind if I give a quick shout out to my homeboy
Absolutely.
Dev and Beaumont, my homeboys in Point Blank, on Alaska, Brian and Ja'Cory, Tuco, my homeboy TMKO and Pharrell. Like I love y'all boys. I'm doing it for y'all, man. Not just for me. I'm doing all this for me, but I got a lot of people I got people that's counting on me. I want them to, be heard as well. So, a lot of people they're not hearing their voices. So I gotta, I want to be there for them. And then when they get there, we all gonna tell our stories at the same time. So I gotta shout them. I gotta shout those people out. My cousin Bree, I love you to death. I love all my cousins. I love my family. All my friends. I love y'all. I'm doing this. This is for y'all, man. It's for y'all.
Outstanding. Well, thank you, Dante, again for joining me tonight. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm going to be following your career extra closely. And since you said you're going to be at the open tryout, I plan on being out there too. So
Yes,
hope
sir.
to see you out there. And I can't wait to see you on the field
Yes, sir.
for the Caballeros in June, I think is when we kick off the season.
Yes, sir.
All right, Dante, have a good one.
Hey, you too, man. Take care. God bless you.
And that was offensive lineman Dante Eldridge of the San Antonio Caballeros. I want to thank him for joining me tonight in this interview. I had a lot of fun getting to talk to him and getting to know him. And I also want to give a special shout out to Melody Dean, who made it possible and arranged this interview. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Well, if you found this interview to be informative and entertaining, please let me know by hitting that like button below. And if you happen to stumble across this video and you'd like to know more about the San Antonio Caballeros, consider subscribing to my channel to keep up to date on all things Caballeros, along with the Brahmas of the UFL and the Gunslingers of the IFL. Well, I think it's time for this caballo to be put into the corral, at least until the next episode. Until then, San Antonio, Montemos, let's ride.